Oh, honey, let's talk about Nelly Furtado, the genre-bending, beat-dropping, hip-swaying queen who went from folk pop sweetheart to urban pop vixen, and back again like a boss. This woman didn't just ride the waves of the music industry, she created her own damn tides. Her story is full of unexpected twists, industry glow-ups, personal reckonings, and yes, a few eyebrow-raising moments along the way. So buckle up, because Nelly's journey is one for the books. Now picture this. It's the late 90s, and music is flooded with bubblegum pop and boy band fever. And out of nowhere comes this Portuguese-Canadian girl with a fresh sound and a whole different vibe. Nelly Furtado was born December 2nd, 1978, in Victoria, British Columbia. She was that immigrant kid with humble beginnings, raised by working-class parents who cleaned homes and worked construction jobs. She grew up speaking Portuguese at home, singing in church, and soaking in all kinds of music, from Portuguese fado to hip-hop, R&B, trip-hop, and even Indian classical. Sis had range before she even had a record deal. And let's just say, from a young age, Nelly wasn't here to blend in. She was born to stand out. By her teenage years, she was already writing songs and performing in underground hip-hop scenes. She even joined a trip-hop duo called Nelstar before deciding she needed to do her own thing. That was the first sign. This girl had a sound that couldn't be boxed in. Enter 2000. Boom! Nelly drops her debut album, Whoa, Nelly, and the game changes. We're talking I'm Like a Bird. That song, a spiritual experience. Everybody was out there flapping their metaphorical wings, singing like they just discovered freedom. The critics were in love, the fans obsessed, and the industry shook. Nelly came through with a voice that felt fresh, a look that was girl next door meets indie goddess, and lyrics that were just quirky enough to be unforgettable. But hold up, it wasn't just I'm Like a Bird. Tracks like Turn Off the Light and On the Radio, Remember the Days, showed she had depth and rhythm. She won a Grammy, went multi-platinum, and suddenly everyone wanted a piece of the Furtado flavor. And just like that, the world had a new pop darling. Now here's where things start to get spicy. Nelly could have coasted on that success, stayed in the safe zone, and kept delivering feel-good hits. But nah, that's not her style. She was too real for that. So in 2003, she dropped Folklore, an album that leaned into her heritage and went deeper into songwriting. Critics respected it, fans vibed, but commercially, it didn't quite hit the way Whoa, Nelly did. People didn't know what to do with an artist who was both poetic and experimental. The industry loves a cute package they can sell, but Nelly, she was never here to be boxed up. And then, sis vanished, took a step back from the spotlight. There were whispers. Is she done? Where's Nelly? But what they didn't know was that she was about to come back real different and redefine herself in a way nobody saw coming. Fast forward to 2006, and baby Nelly came back with a vengeance. She linked up with Timbaland, who at that time was the king of hits, and together they created Loose, and let me tell you, this album didn't just slap, it hit. She ditched the boho skirts and acoustic guitar for stilettos and beats, and people had opinions. Promiscuous dropped, and the streets went wild. Was this the same Nelly from I'm Like a Bird? Yup, just a new era. Let's be real. Loose was iconic. From Say It Right to Maneater, every track was a banger. She was sexy, confident, mysterious, and people didn't know whether to clutch their pearls or hit the dance floor. Nelly had fully transformed into a pop powerhouse. The album went multi-platinum worldwide, topping charts in over 25 countries. Timbaland and Nelly were unstoppable at JT and Timbaland levels of magic. And the visuals? Nelly was giving look after look. No more indie girl with braids, she was a full-on sultry superstar. But with all that success came some side eyes. Folks accused her of selling out, like suddenly being sexy meant she couldn't be soulful too? The audacity. But let's not act like the album didn't serve. It was bold. It was fierce. And it gave Nelly her biggest commercial moment. Then came 2009. Nelly, ever the chameleon, switches gears again, this time singing entirely in Spanish with Mi Plan. Yup, she said, I've dominated English charts, now let me flex in another language. And you know what? She did that. The album won a Latin Grammy and showed yet again that Nelly Furtado was not here to be just one thing. But this move also confused mainstream fans. They were like, wait, where's promiscuous Nelly? Honey, she's multilingual, global, and booked. But here's where the roller coaster dips. In 2012, Nelly released The Spirit Indestructible. The album didn't chart well, the promo was messy, and people weren't paying attention. Suddenly, it felt like Nelly disappeared again. But this time, the silence was deeper. She stopped doing interviews. No new hits, no viral moments. The industry, cruel as it is, moved on. And then came the whispers. What happened to Nelly Furtado? Where is she now? The rumors started swirling. Depression, motherhood, industry fatigue. In a later interview, Nelly admitted she had a full-on breakdown after the loose era. Fame had consumed her, and she needed to find herself again. That's when she pulled the ultimate power move. Walked away from fame to focus on healing, motherhood, and real life. No press tour, no dramatic exit. She just dipped. She got real about her mental health, saying that at one point she was cleaning her own bathroom to stay grounded. That's right, the same woman who was dominating the charts in heels was now prioritizing sanity over stardom. Respect. She spent the next few years under the radar, raising her daughter Nevis, reflecting on her journey, and creating music on her terms. Then in 2017, she gave us The Ride, an indie album that was basically her diary set to music. No chart chasing, no high-profile features, just Nelly, raw and honest. She even performed in smaller venues and did surprise sets like she was reconnecting with fans from the ground up. It didn't make headlines like Loose did, but the real ones knew Nelly was back, and she was doing it her way. And let's talk about 2022. While everyone else was clout chasing and TikTok dancing, Nelly was out here doing surprise DJ sets at festivals, popping up with Drake, and quietly reminding folks, yeah, I still got it. Rumors swirled about new music, a collab with Dom Dolla, and possibly more English-Spanish fusion tracks. The comeback was bubbling and it felt organic, not forced. She was glowing, radiating that I've survived the industry and found my peace, energy. Through it all, fame, fallbacks, reinventions, Nelly never lost her authenticity. She's the rare artist who's lived through every side of the game: the overnight fame, the backlash, the reinvention, and the reawakening. And now she's in full control. Touring, recording, showing up when she wants to, and giving fans that nostalgic hit while dropping new heat on her own terms. Nelly Furtado's story isn't just one of success. It's about reinvention, resilience, and reclaiming your voice in an industry that tries to define you. She never fit the mold, and thank God for that. She's a little pop, a little folk, a little hip-hop, and all fire. So next time someone asks, whatever happened to Nelly Furtado? You tell them this: she never left, she just evolved. And in a world of carbon copy pop stars, she's still the blueprint.